Delighted this year to be hosting a workshop. And when I go to conferences, of course, I love to see the main speakers and hear what they've got to say. But to be honest, what I really appreciate most is the workshops where you're learning skills. You've got a little bit more chance to be interactive. And actually, one of the advantages of doing the Stoicon remotely is that you don't actually need to have a building with lots of different rooms in. It's very easy to separate people out into breakout groups and then come back and share the learning. So what we're going to do this year is I'm really interested also in collecting people's stories about how Stoicism has impacted them positively. So there's been a lot written about the theory of Stoicism, and quite a lot about practical techniques, quite a lot of kind of hypothetical case vignettes, but I think not quite so much on real life stories where people have said, yes, this is an example of where I was quite Stoic, or here was an example where I didn't realize I was being Stoic, but now I realize I was, or even here's a situation where I wish I'd remembered my Stoicism. So what we're going to do in the workshop is I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction where I'll talk about a couple of cases or a couple of real life stories, and then ask people to think about cases, their own cases, and share in little groups, and then feedback to the main group. And what I'm really keen on is this process of learning together from experience and being inspired by what other people have done. Now, this is also part of a book I'm writing. So 365 Ways to Be More Stoic. An integral part of it is going to be some real life stories where people have described how Stoicism has not just benefited them, but benefited other people as well. And a number of them have come in already, and you can probably guess the kind of things they'll be. It's kind of my phone broke, or I lost my wallet, and those are all good examples where Stoicism is really helpful. But some of them are a bit more kind of serious like that. So one was from a young man, an aspiring Stoic, who got stuck in one of the deepest caves, and someone had a rope that was meant to get him out of it, and the other person let go of the rope. So through no fault of his own, he and a colleague were stuck there in very muddy, horrible conditions, not knowing what was going to happen. And so his story is that not only did Stoicism help him cope with that, but also to be more forgiving to that person, more understanding that it hadn't been his intention, and that we've all made mistakes, and there's no point in being angry with people because they've made a mistake. So I'm hoping there'll be more stories like that coming out of the workshop, and it'll be a really good learning together experience. So what is my favorite passage of Stoicism? Now, this has changed over the years, but now it is definitely Marcus Aurelius' Meditations 2.1, which many of you will know, but if you don't, it goes something like this. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They're like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own. None of them can hurt me. No one can implicate me in ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my relative or hate him. We were born together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on them, these are obstructions. And why do I like it? I think when I first read it, I thought, oh, this is just kind of Marcus doing a kind of negative visualization, of how he can prepare himself for it. And it kind of is that, but it just works on so many levels. it kind of incorporates so many different dimensions of Stoicism. And so it's like a good poem. You can read it, or a good song. You can read it on so many levels. You can read it in those kind of simple terms of, oh, he's just kind of trying to make himself less angry, or you can see it as trying to see other people as being just like him, that we're all here to work together, or the idea that we all have goodness in us, and he has the ability to live up to it, to rise to the occasion. So I think that's what it is. It's a kind of call for us to rise to the situation, whatever it is.